In this short video, I'm going to be discussing and demonstrating the upcoming changes that have been made to the Spillman Law Form, which will be released in the next patch. The Spillman Law Form has been enhanced to incorporate the NIBRS 2013 validation rules by default. The forms are also integrated directly within the CAD and the RMS system. As an example, you can see here that I am currently assigned to this Assault Call at 215 Ridge Drive. As I come over here and select the forms themselves, and I select this Spillman Law Incident Form, by default the system will go and query the last 3 days of all the incidents that I have been responsible for. I can easily query different criteria just by coming and doing a law search if I wanted to see just the last 2 hours, the last 8 hours, or the last 2 weeks, for example. You'll also notice that if I wanted to create an incident from scratch, the system would also give me the ability to do so, granted the proper permissions. As I select this specific assault, it's going to open up that report in the mobile environment showing me everything that has been completed to this point. In this case, knowing the information as far as the location and the complainant and the person and so forth. As I select the edit feature, that is where it then goes in here and it shows me the information directly on the form itself. As you can see here, the information in the fields pretty much match what the law incident screen provides you, therefore giving you the ability to quickly update and change the information as necessary. As mentioned a moment ago, one of the enhancements to the form also is the screen-to-screen validation rather than the validation taking place at the end of the incident form. Furthermore, the system gives me the ability, as you can see here, updating addresses, names, and so forth. As I come over here, even just to change an address, the system will take and utilize the geo-verification process built into the system, where now, instead of just typing in free text, I can now geo-verify locations directly on the form itself. Furthermore, as I select different fields within the form, as I come over to the offenses as an example, and I select a specific offense that I want to add to this incident form, as I start searching the offenses, I can do so based off of any of the information or any of the columns that you see here. So if I have a statute code, a description, or an offense description right here, the system will immediately filter it down based off of the information I'm typing. So as I select a simple assault in this case, you can see how the system immediately lays out the required fields that I would need to complete in order to validate this specific information. All of the drop downs here are based off of the NIBRS codes when it comes to NIBRS specifically, so if I know those codes I can simply type in that information. If I am not familiar, you can see as I select the drop down all the codes that would be required. We can select these as well, either through a drop down or just by keying them in. As I select additional information here, the advantage to this is you're not limited just to one offense. We can put in multiple offenses, and then depending on the offense type or the offense code itself, the system will give me the ability and it will actually highlight the fields that are required. As I come over to the Persons tab, this is designed to show me the information and the persons that the system is aware of to this point. In this case, we only have Cass Armstead as the complainant. As I come in here and add an additional offender, for example, you can see the system will remember my recent searches. This search list will not go away as I log out and log back into the system, but will keep a running tab regardless of where I log in of all the names that I have searched on. As I select any one of these, take Jeff Sadler for example, as I then identify what his relationship to the case is, you can see the system will lay out additional information for me, as you can see here. Furthermore, as I add an additional name here, let's just add one more. Notice the system is also equipped with a new feature, a new search feature. Whereas I select that, the system will allow me to go out and search for a name, a vehicle, for example, and then that immediately appears in my list. I no longer have to exit the form and then go search on a name and reopen it. As I select another name, for suppose Rachel Berkeley here, and we identify her as the victim, what the system is going to do, once again based off of the validation rules, it lays out the information that is necessary for a specific victim within the system itself. So as you can see here, if there's information that is missing, such as an in-victim type that NIBRS requires, we can go ahead and select that information. The system also remembers who we have identified as potential offenders, and as I select that, more information becomes available to me right here, such as the relationship to the offender. So if I was to come in here, say this person was an ex-spouse, for example, the system gives me the ability to utilize those code tables and so forth as we drop down this information throughout the form itself. The concept is going to apply similarly with the vehicles, the property, and so forth. As I come over to the narrative feature, option right here. The system will also continue to incorporate your templates within the system, so continue to use your templates within the system. As I select these or I hover on top of them, it will actually break it down and show you what the template looks like before we select it. The system will also support cut, copy, and paste. Many agencies continue to type up their narrative in a Word format that can be copied into the Spillman system, and one of the enhancements to the form is that the Spillman system will look at the document that has been copied into Spillman, and it will strip the null characters and the characters that might cause a problem within the system, so you don't have to worry about making those changes after the fact. One of the advantages as well, as you can see here, this gives me the ability to view the call comments. Many agencies, while they're filling out their report, would like to be able to quickly reference what was said, what was done during that call. As I select that, you can see all of the information from the call comments will appear for me here, which then it continues to let me navigate through my form, and I can hide them at any time. One additional feature that is also very beneficial is the summary tab, which takes all of the detail to that form to this point and lays it out in an incident format. As you can see here. As I scroll down here a little bit, you can see the information that I have keyed into this point, such as the simple assault here, the persons associated, as you can see here as well. The other advantage to this is that these forms, in this case I'm looking just at the incident form, but these are written in HTML, where if an agency would like, they could go in there and they could create their own custom forms based off of the HTML coding as well. So if I wanted to have an incident form, a redacted incident form, and so forth, where you're determining the information that you would like to have displayed, that is something that you would have the ability to do. So very quickly, you can see how the forms are designed to provide that validation. As mentioned, this is going to be based off of the NIBRS 2013 validation rules for the most part. There will also be, down here at the bottom, you can see that the system or the form, it gives me the ability to actually come in here and we can save these forms right there. There is also an option on the forms where we can incorporate full NIBRS validation. Some agencies have requested the ability to allow the officers or the deputies to do full NIBRS validation from the form, and so that option would be available as well. Typically, however, at this point I can save this. As you've noticed, the validation is happening from screen to screen, and so it's catching that those initial information that the records clerks would need before the full validation is done. Once I select save here, it takes all of the information from the form, kicks off the workflow process as it does today, but the information is now completely upgraded and integrated throughout the system itself. If you have any more information or questions that you guys might have, please feel free to contact us. But hopefully these forms will really allow us to continue to do the work that needs to be done.